Well, good evening. It's another episode of Spencer Uncensored. And, this isn't the normal outfit for me. Normally, you guys see me like black t-shirt, my Spencer Spencer Combs Resources hat with a little elephant on the front. Yeah, that's my normal uniform. Tonight, I'm actually going to a Christmas party. So this is my little getup for it's a dressed down version, but it's kind of my cool way to go. But anyway, Christmas party headed out tonight, and but I could not go there without first having this episode, because this is Spencer Uncensored episode 100. Really kind of wild to believe we got to 100 episodes. We've had 99 other conversations where we sat down and had and discussed all things like we talked about last week, momentum, actually mindset, mechanics, and movement. We've done a lot of different things throughout the last almost 2 years now. If not, actually, it has been 2 years. So excited that we got to 100, and we're going to be interested to see how this continues to move forward. So tonight, I'm actually going to tell you a little bit about the background, how we got to this point, and I'm going to share some cool things that's happened along the way. Then I'm also going to talk about getting ready for 2025 for you as well, as you move into this, move into 2025. This will be the last episode where I go live in this year of 2024. We'll be back together in 2 weeks, which should be January the 7th. So anyway, here we are, and I'm going to go over some of that stuff tonight, and then I'm going to call you guys to some movement, take some action, get some things done. So let's rewind the clock a little bit, because I don't know if you are new to Spencer Uncensored. I want to share with you a little bit about where it started, and then some of the interesting episodes we've had along the way. There were times when I was traveling to Miami, so that I'd go live from within a hotel room in Miami, or sometimes beside the pool. Spencer Uncensored come live from I remember one episode, LAX, right? One of them came live. I was walking around in Las Vegas. I had another Spencer Uncensored where I came live in my father's backyard in northern Idaho. That's actually probably the most watched and engaging episode I've ever done. Actually, out of all the 99 before this one, that one was probably the most engaging. And I'm guessing because of my background, if you've ever looked and seen the one where there's like snow behind me, that's the one. People really enjoyed that episode because it was visually kind of cool, but also I got really deep in a discussion around being disturbed and not settling, and I was fired up that day. So anyway, and I also shared a little bit about my personal side with my dad. That particular episode, we've come live from all kinds of locations, really, but most of them have always been either in my makeshift office in my previous little apartment we were in, and now in this house here. And I'm grateful to be coming along this way. I have always wanted to come on live and have a conversation once a week. I like doing that. And the vision for this, by the way, is over time, we're actually going to get on here and do this more like a podcast, right? Have somebody on and interview and have discussions and so on. But for now, let's just be clear and maybe just use my mistakes to help you build your business as well. And maybe not even mistakes. I think this is probably the way to go for a lot of things. I took to heart a statement that Russell Brunson made a long time ago that I heard him say, that if you really want to get good at your message, you need to go live as often as possible and share your message. And the more you do that, your tribe will start coming to you and your message will get cleaner. And I can tell you that 2 years ago when we started this, that was the original intent. It was just to go live and have conversations around content that I knew and things that I had created and frameworks that we had developed over the years. And now, this last year, if you may know, you may or may not know. If you don't, welcome to the arena. Little over a year ago, October, November of last year, I pulled the plug on a lot of different things that I was doing and came out of an environment that would not allow me to do kind of like what I'm doing now. And so here I am, essentially 13 months later, doing this on my own. I do not have, this is the true entrepreneurial situation. I'm on my own and doing my thing. And at this point, we actually have several clients. We're growing. We're doing our thing. We've done a couple of events this past year. We have plenty to do next year. But the purpose of this, of Spencer Uncensored, was really for me more than it was for you. Because the more I get on here and have conversation, the better it's going to be for you. And I'll get cleaner on that discussion. I'll be able to share more in the discussion. And so and let that kind of be a nudge for you, that if you're worried about sharing information or telling people, going live or going on and just doing video in general, be honest with you, you're never going to get any better until you just do it. And so that's what a lot of this has been. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm still not great at it simply because my numbers aren't phenomenal, but we will continue to address it and get better and cleaner at the whole thing. But one thing's for sure, I have now gotten a much cleaner conversation since I first got started. As a matter of fact, in this last year, I'm going to put the link right here. Yeah, there it is. We put out the book, Momentum and Mastery. Momentum and Mastery would have never happened had I not weekly in and out on Tuesdays come on here live and had this conversation with you guys. Not because I didn't have the content already, but because the more I share it, the cleaner the conversation got. And I also I learned from you guys kind of what resonated with you. And there's two primary topics that came out of that book that you guys always get engaged with. And it'll help me clarify kind of where we're going to go and what content we're going to do, what's the next book going to be, that kind of thing, because I know where you guys are really responding, because where you guys are responding is probably the biggest pain points, right? So anyway, we've done a lot of ups. We've had a lot of downs. We've had some good episodes. We've had some that are kind of like, what the hell was that? But we did them all, right? We got them all done and learned a lot of stuff along the way. So Momentum and Mastery, when I rolled that out, the language of that whole discussion for the longest time was really all about helping people get into momentum and helping people create mastery. And even as recently as today, it just clicked for me. One of the most simplest ways to explain what the value is of momentum and mastery and why did we write the book like that the way we did. The absolute best analogy would be the cart and the horse. Because so many people talk about putting the cart before the horse, right? Well, it's because you need the horse in the front and it pulls the cart. Momentum is all about going from drift to drive. It's the energy, it's the power to pull or move or go towards something, create and make things happen, right? That's what the entire drift to drive framework that's in Momentum and Mastery, the momentum section, the first part where it's the art of moving forward. That's the horse, right? So if you're missing some level of energy, some level of movement to move yourself forward, or you just don't have the level of drive you think you need, well, then you need the Unshakeable framework, the portion that it talks about drift to drive. And it's an art form, because what moves me won't necessarily move you. And what moves you won't necessarily move me. But there is something that's going to move you. And there's 4 factors in that, right? So that's the car, that's the horse. And then you got the cart. Well, the cart is going to be the mastery side of it, right? Having the right kind of infrastructure, having the right systems in place, having the right mindset, right? For the whole thing, the mindset and the mechanics to hook up to that horse and get where you want to go. What do you want it to do, right? So Momentum and Mastery is a deep dive and straightforward, full of exercises. It's all the feedback I've gotten, people love the fact that it's not just another mind-bending book on how cool mindset or mechanics or movement is. It actually walks you through with exercises and places for you to write things in there. So we did that on purpose. I would love for you, if you've ever wanted if you've ever had an interest, just go over to momentumandmastery.com, get yourself a copy of the book. But through that process, though, I said all of that to tell you this. Through that process, there were 3 top lessons that popped out that we are now almost always, this is what we bring to almost every organization when we speak. There are 3 things that's critical that people need, and Momentum and Mastery solves the problem. Number 1, when you're clear on what you want, why you want it, when you have clarity, right? Chaos becomes fuel. One of the absolute biggest challenges that I run into with business owners, no matter what industry they're in, the reason they're stifled out, the reason they're not getting where they want to go is because they just don't have a real strong sense of clarity. They want to make more money, but how much is more money, right? When you have that level of clarity, it unlocks everything necessary for your mind to go to work to create the organization and the business and the things that you need. What you want and why you want it. That's the other half of that equation. Clarity is number 1. Number 2, the other thing that we bring into organizations all the time is conversation around consistency. And I can almost guarantee you, if you got right now, if I asked 10 of you, what's the biggest challenge? One of the pieces of discussion is going to be, I struggle with the consistency. Like I'm up, I'm down, I do well, I don't do well. I get tired of it. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people get out of owning a business and just go to work having a job, because they can't handle the inconsistency factor, right? We got money, we don't have money. We have money, we don't have money. And the only way to fix that problem is through a system, right? We talk about, in Momentum and Mastery, we actually talk about champions do every day what others do occasionally. Consistency will almost always be a separator. Being able to do the work consistently. So if you have a clarity and then you adopt some consistency and put some systematic process to your business, you're going to get a lot further. A really good example of that was today. I had an evaluation with, it was a real estate agent. He's doing better this year than he did last year, and that was good. And the challenge was just some very simplistic ways on how to manage a pipeline. No structure to it. Not only that, but Spencer, I also, I think I understand all of that, but what about lead generation and how to get these people? Well, it's not that he doesn't know. I think he probably thinks, as a matter of fact, I know this for a fact. People have like 7, 8, 10, 15 different ways to go find new business. But the problem is there's too many. Give me a system, Spencer. There's a system. We call it 3 lanes of business. There's all kinds of systematic ways to help create consistency in your business. You need a system. This is all from having conversations with you guys for now almost 2 years and figuring out what's the biggest problems. Clarity is 1, consistency is 2. The third one, I just use the word conditioning. But what we're really referring to here is it's a hidden growth secret. Mental conditioning and emotional resilience, they're going to matter almost more than just the strategy alone. If you do not understand the power of the mind and what you feed it on a consistent basis, and who you're listening to, who you're hanging around with, what are you feeding yourself, right? If you got a part of me, matter of fact, I had a real estate agent yesterday. She said, a part of me wants to do this and a part of me wants to do that. And I just do too much and do this and do that. When you've got opposing parts fighting, the one that's going to win is the one that you're feeding. I'm trusting that makes sense, but you have to have the conditioning possible. I learned this on my own because I was blessed to have someone hand me book after book, sent me to conferences, and I learned personal development. I began to feed myself differently, and I was able to literally shift my mind. And I'm going to tell you, most people would tell you that the kind of mind that I have is a disability. Get the hell out of here with that. It's not a disability. Just because my mind runs faster than yours doesn't mean that I'm any that I need to slow down. What it means is I need to know what I've got going on, and then how to use that to create momentum, move forward, get where I want to go, defy the odds. Odds are somebody like me would not be doing anything that I'm doing right now. You really think that a person, high school, I got a GED. I quit school early when got a GED. Yeah. You think somebody with a GED didn't finish all the way through his Bible college, which that was a joke in terms of the education. Those two things, you think that person would be able to advise someone right now that has probably going to end around $26 million insurance agency? Would it be? That may not mean a whole lot to you. Let me tell you something. When I started with them in June of this year, and where we ended, they increased by over $200,000 in the bottom line just from our conversations and the action that they've taken. Guys, do you think anybody would I mean, I'm defying the odds myself. You can too. That's the point. That's the point. By the way, defying the odds. If you want to defy the odds, get on the daily dose. I'm gonna put the link right here. Unshakeablesecrets.com. We'll send you a nice little jolt in the mornings around 7 a.m. Eastern time. So that would be helpful. Feel free to do that. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. So while we're moving into 2025, we are in the process of amassing enough one-on-one clients that we can roll them over into a much bigger program. Because we have a lot of frameworks and systems that really make a difference in people's lives, not just professionally, but personally. So you'll want to stay tuned here. You want to pay attention to what we're doing. The Unshakable Edge program is what that's called. Then we'll have the Unshakable Edge Pro. That's for the people that are the heavy hitters and really want to get somewhere. The Unshakable Edge are the ones that want to get somewhere, but maybe don't have the funds to do it all, or not necessarily interested in getting the one-on-one intensity that comes with Pro. And then we're going to eventually create the Unshakable Edge Light. So the Unshakable Edge Light, by the way, if you see this board back here, that's what all this is. And those things across the top there, those are all the different programs that we're given with each program. This is growing. I'm excited about what we're doing. Got a lot of work to do. I would love it if you would share this episode, share what we're doing, let people know if you want to be unshakable, you want to defy the odds and build a business worth owning. I got a young lady right now building a gym. She already has the gym. The intention is to triple its size by the end of the year, 2025. Watch if we don't actually see that happen. And it's not because necessarily I'm some magical person. The systems, the frameworks, the stuff that I help people understand, when they go apply that stuff, it makes a big difference in your business. Here's a dominant question that you need to be asking yourself right now. What if you spent the next 12 months getting clear, being consistent, and conditioning yourself in the right programs and the right people around you that supported your outcomes? If you maintain that for the next 12 months, and we're somewhere around episode 150, what would that do for your year? Those of you that know that you might be interested in working with me, by the way, you can go to unshakeablesecrets.com. Actually, go to unshakeablesecrets.com/secrets. That's the fastest way to get there. Remember, the magic only happens when you decide to become the magician. We talked about it a couple nights ago. And winning is not an event. Winning is something you are. It's who you are. Comment, if you would, on your favorite episode if you got one. Thank you for being here. Share your number one lesson or your number one win from 2024. I would love to have that. Just drop it in the comments. And make sure you tag other people that you think would be interested in what we're doing around here. This is only the beginning, folks. I appreciate all of you being here, and I'm going to go to this Christmas party now.